book with some very touching and universal themes. It is about the strength of family, the pull of places we return to again and again, and second chances.
Christina Clancy wrote this new novel. It's called The Second Home, and it'll feel like home to us here because one of the settings is a home on Milwaukee's east side. So Christina joins us now, and we're so happy to have you here. Good morning to you.
Hello.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So this is pretty exciting. You grew up in Milwaukee. You went to Whitefish Bay High School.
I did. Yeah, and finally I get to put it in my book. I have a t-shirt that says, "Careful, you'll end up in my next novel."
I love that. What was it like writing about your hometown?
You know, it's nice. I think I felt funny writing about it at first. And in fact, when I first, in very early drafts of the book, I had the family set in Evanston, Illinois, because it seemed kind of like the north side of Milwaukee to me, or the Near East side. And then I heard Joyce Carol Oates read from a short story. And after she did her reading, somebody said, the details of that character's living room are so specific. How did you imagine that painting, like who painted it and what the couch looked like? And she said, it's my living room. And I thought, oh, I can write about my hometown. And also Valerie Lakin, who teaches at UW Milwaukee, she was one of the people on faculty when I was getting my PhD. And she also said that you should write about the places you know. And it kind of emboldened me to write about Milwaukee.
I love that you did that. And I think people love reading a book where they can identify with the spots that the characters go in the book, which leads me to my question about the characters. Christina, tell us about, everybody wants to know if the author is in the book, you know, if you're writing about yourself. So where did the inspiration come for the Gordon family?
Well, I will tell you, all the characters are fictional. They're all made up, but some of them start out as little germs of people that I know. And then it's funny, as you work, the more you write, the more they just take off and become their own people. And you almost forget who you ever based that character on. But the first character that I want to talk about is Poppy Gordon, because she's where this novel began. When I got my PhD to celebrate, my mom took me to Panama for a vacation. And we stayed in this little tiny bed and breakfast, and there was a bar attached. And the woman who worked there was a surfer, and she said she never went home. And I couldn't imagine never going home. You know, I have a friend who says that he's the only place he's ever felt at home is on an airplane. And just that thought of like rootlessness bothers me so much. I think actually a lot of people from Milwaukee can relate to that, because a lot of us are very like into our hometown. And we don't, you know, we can't imagine never leaving or never coming back if we leave. So I thought, well, how do I get this surfer home? And so that's where Poppy came from. And then the other characters are inspired by people that I maybe know, or they're amalgamations of different types of personalities. I think Ed and Connie Gordon, who live on the east side, will be so familiar to readers who know that area with their rock garden and trips to the bookstore.
I love all that. And I do think I love that, because people do want to, I think, escape and see themselves in a novel, or completely, you know, be able to relate in a way where it's not them, but they can picture being there and really in the moment of the novel. So I love that you're doing that. So place is obviously very important to you. I think it's fascinating that you wrote your first novel after 50. What was it like publishing?
I'm only 32. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm 19.
Yeah. No, I think that novel gave me some gray hairs. It's really hard to write a book. Yeah, it took a long time to work on it, actually. My goal was to publish it before I turned 50, but I sold it when I was 49. And then it takes a long time in publishing from when you sell it to when a book actually comes out. It's pretty amazing. I've been thinking today, especially on my publication day, that it just takes so much work by so many people to make a book. And when you hold that book in your hand, you're kind of holding a community of people who work on the book. And so I think that it just takes a long time to get all the ducks in a row, to get the people to blurb your book, to get the cover designed, to get booksellers to know about it, to let the world know, so that people, you know, like you guys can help get the word out. So it took a long time, but I did get it sold before 50.
Good for you, Christina. That's fantastic. And speaking of blurbs written about your book, you've got to feel good about the accolades that you're getting. For the month of June, one of 4 books with buzz. Zibby Owens includes The Second Home, your book, on this great list of summer reads from Good Morning America, 25 summer novels you'll read this summer. It also was in Reading Group Choices, most popular book in April, Milwaukee Journal Journal-Sentinel gave it a great review. And I know you just finished your next book, but I also wonder too, to authors, what list are you included on, or what critic or what praise means the most to you?
You know, honestly, the praise from independent booksellers means the most. I'm a bookstore brat. You know, I love independent bookstores. I grew up when I was in Milwaukee. I was at Boswell's every week. I should say Boswell Books, not Boswell's. But every city I go to, you know, we have a cottage in East Troy, so I go to Inklink Books there. I live in Madison, so I shop at Mystery to Me, A Room of One's Own, and then also at Arcadia Books. So I've always been really connected in the bookseller community, and booksellers read all the time. And to have a bookseller endorse my book means more to me than you can ever know. It's truly so heartwarming, because they're the people. Like when I gave Daniel a galley of my book, Daniel owns Boswell Books on the East Side. I was so nervous, and a couple times he wasn't there, and I wouldn't leave the book with anyone but Daniel. I had to hand it to him. I was really superstitious about it, and then I just kind of waited on tenterhooks, like wondering what's he thinking about it. So it's so great to have his support. I can't even tell you how much that means to me.
Well, good for you.
Congratulations.
We're proud of you. You deserve this. It's wonderful that you joined us today. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I hope readers enjoy it. We sure need a good escape these days.
I know we do. And doing this during this time, I think, is really good timing for us to have something to take our minds away. So I want to make sure I share something about tonight, because Boswell has a Zoom event, which is fantastic, with you, Christina. It's free, but registration is required at boswellbooks.com. And people can learn more about the second home and you by going to your website, ChristinaClancyWrites.com. There you can see it there. And again, it is free tonight, which is a wonderful opportunity. Everybody loves to meet the author. So thank you again.
Oh, great. And Lauren Fox will be moderating that event. She's a local writer who I just adore.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you again for your time today.
Oh,
Thanks
thank you
for
so much
joining
for
us.
having me.
Good to see you. All
Thanks.
right.
Bye-bye.